please welcome State Senator Kevin Lundberg.
Thank you very much. It is a privilege to be here and to be a part of this very important rally where we look forward to the oral arguments before the Supreme Court. I've been asked to give just a few moments of reflection on what is happening back here at home on the legislative side of things, because as I looked at what did occur through this decision from the Civil Rights Commission to Jack Phillips, I realized that Colorado law needs some changes. So, that's right. So I introduced a piece of legislation this year, which we called the right to disagree, that simply addressed the issue that Jack Phillips has the problem with, which is the laws and the way they're being applied are violating the principles of freedom for the individual citizens. And a business owner should be able to define the scope of their practice. Now, I don't need to go into details. You've heard all the particulars, but that's correct. I introduced that bill, and it was defeated. Unfortunately, it was defeated. Not a big surprise, understanding some of the political realities we have down at the state capitol, but I'm happy to tell you that if you look across our nation, there actually has been a resurgence of legislation introduced defending religious liberty. This year, the Congressional Prayer Caucus Foundation identified over 200 religious liberty bills and other measures that were introduced, and of those, 30 were adopted. They came from 46 states and the U.S. Congress. 30 were adopted, which was a 750% increase over what we saw in 2016. Now, but there's more to give here, very briefly. The Civil Rights Commission is, the commissioners are appointed by the governor, and then it's required that the Senate give consent and advice and consent for the governor's appointments and approve the appointment. So he had one of the commissioners came up for reappointment, and the governor reappointed that person, and the Senate reviewed the individual and their appointment in this past session. And first time I've ever seen this, the Senate rejected that appointment. But there's more, because the governor ignored the Senate's rejection, and that person continues to serve on the Civil Rights Commission. But there is more. And that is the actual Civil Rights Commission comes up for reauthorization in 2018. And I want to tell you that I and many of my colleagues are committed to changing the rules for the Civil Rights Commission so that it actually defends the civil rights of the people of Colorado, including Jack Phillips. We need to change the way the commissioners are appointed. We need to change the mission they have, because we need to defend the liberties of everyone, and I assure you, we will fight for that in 2018. Thank you very much.